The Drop with Frank and Brian is officially brought to you by Switch Suspension. Switch Suspension specializes in all vehicle chassis components. Lift kits, lowering kits, air ride suspension, wheels, tires, steering, and brake upgrades. They use all the best products from the best brands. And these guys are truck guys. You roll into their parking lot at the shop and they all drive custom vehicles. So they use their products that they sell on their own vehicles. So if you guys are looking for anything for your vehicles, whether you're just starting out or you just need some replacement parts or whatever, give them a call or visit their website, switchsuspension.com.
Everything's ready. Recording. Everything's ready.
Here
we are.
Levels are good.
You sound very bassy.
I am very bassy.
Yeah. I remember last time that happened, something was going on with it. As long as you're good. You sound fine.
Okay, yeah, I think everything's fine. Let's see.
I'm good.
Yeah.
I'm good on everything. Okay, cool. All right.
Oh, wait, here we go. Is that better?
There you go. That's how you normally sound. Whoa.
So on the sound options on the MacBook here, there's like internal microphone, Rode Mini, Rode Connect System, Rode Connect Visual, and I changed it to internal microphone, and now it's I don't know what it does.
Oh, well, as long as everything's fine.
I hope so, because
here we are.
It is Sunday
it's Sunday night,
8:30 p.m. So this will be done by 9:30, 10. It'll be uploaded by 10:30, and then I will be editing until midnight.
Yeah,
and then uploading,
dude,
and we will have it out
tomorrow morning. Just got back from the Forbidden Show. What a weekend!
Yeah, how do we want to even? We're just so. Before
this is all crazy because I just came off of a pretty crazy little thing too.
Yes, which we're gonna get into, but
we're gonna get into everything.
Just so everyone knows, we usually record on Wednesday and gives us time. We are recording Sunday. This will be uploaded tomorrow, Monday, and we have no plans.
This is I mentioned in a episode before. I like to call these straight to video.
Straight to video, and then
this is straight to video.
We might have to do this again next week.
Why is that?
I leave Thursday morning, and I'm not back till Saturday night.
Where are you going?
I'm going to Kentucky, Louisville.
Oh,
so
okay. For a diesel truck show?
For Stay Loaded, yeah.
Oh, okay, cool. That's awesome.
We got to work that one out.
Yeah, we'll record one tomorrow. But yeah, here we are. Just got back. So, backstory. So, I don't even. I'm so. I'm just so all over the place right now.
Let's start with. Do you want to work backwards or do you want to work forwards? You want to start with basically the beginning of the show and then go through the show and then how the show ended to right now, or do you want to work backwards?
Let's work backwards because it's fresh in my mind.
Okay.
I just got back. So basically what happened was we get Angie and we leave the desert. We get out to Laughlin Friday afternoon sometime. And we're hanging out, getting everything set up. And then someone says, "Oh, Eric is here, but he blew the transmission in his truck." And I'm like, "Oh, no." And so Eric is in our club. He has a 03 GMC Sierra and a Toyota. So the Toyota is like his show truck. And people have seen it before. It's white with graphics on it and stuff. Well, he blew the transmission in the Sierra.
Which was towing the Tacoma.
So it's pretty cool. We figured out basically like, okay, this is what we'll do. I'll tow his trailer with his Sierra on it. He'll drive the Toyota. And then someone else will just bring my vendor trailer back to me. Yeah. And so we actually like solved the issue pretty quickly. So come today, that's what we did. And I drove straight down to Moreno Valley, dropped off his stuff.
The funny part is we figured out how it would work. We didn't figure out the specifics of it till sitting around the tables last night.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah. Oh yeah,
because
we
didn't know. We were like, who's gonna pull? We were thinking roulette, and then we all kind of looked at roulette's truck, and we're like, well, it's got a bunch of stuff loaded in it, and you didn't want him. Like there was just a bunch of things.
And then the other funny thing about that with Roe was, he boned out super early.
Yeah.
So like that wouldn't have worked out because then like, yeah, it worked out the best way it did. Steve is actually still up in Laughlin right now. So my trailer's still sitting up there, and tomorrow when he comes back, he'll bring it down and we'll
Did you
swap
guys
it.
hook it up to his truck and everything already?
Yeah, he's ready to go. Yeah,
Cool.
We covered all the bases. Yeah. But yeah, it went really smooth. I think it's funny that the only truck up for the task of doing all this was my 20-year-old Titan.
I've been thinking about that all day. It's so funny that you know what I mean. Like, the Titan is just the champion of champions,
Dude, it pulled through there. I had one little issue, and that's because I don't have trailer brakes on the truck.
Yeah,
And so when I was going down the pass, the brakes were getting a little spicy.
yeah. That's
A
what I was
little
gonna say.
smoky.
You gotta start at the top of those passes very slow.
Well,
Like
what
you have to go because this is now the second time a Chevy's had to been rescued by one of our old Titans.
What was the first time?
Jesse's transmission blew up on his
Oh, really?
on his Chevy Silverado when he was towing his S10 to the Relaxing in SoCal show. So I had to go get my Titan. He had to unload I had to load his Chevy on his trailer, and I had to take it over the Grapevine with no trailer brakes
Oh, really?
because his trailer didn't have trailer brakes.
Oh, I see.
So
Well, in my
imagine-
case, I didn't have the module in my truck.
Yeah. So imagine coming down the Grapevine, at the other end of that Grapevine with no trailer brakes and Chevy on the
Oh
back.
my gosh. Well, the biggest problem with mine was as I was going down the pass, traffic, all that Vegas traffic, because the 15 where I'm at, the Cajon Pass is like the main vein from Vegas back to anywhere in SoCal, basically. And so it was just full of traffic. So I'm like stuck on the hill, creeping down, as this truck is pushing me down. I did a loose calculation in my head because the trailer I was using was Adam Sinner, who's also in our club. His trailer, super nice trailer. It's a big Tex trailer, just super nice, but super heavy.
Yeah, I was going to say that trailer probably
It's a
weighs
heavy-
2,000 pounds.
I meant to look at the tag right before I left, but I figured between like 2 and 25, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
Because it's a beefy trailer.
Yeah.
And then, his full size weighs about 5,000-ish pounds.
Yeah.
So it was quite the payload. And but no, the old titty just kept on trucking.
It just does it.
It just does it, man. I don't know. It's just so crazy. It's so crazy.
It is. It's I don't know. It's just, it cracks me up when I saw like you post that photo of just like you deliver the truck and it's just like, man, this thing just goes.
Yeah, it just goes.
Yeah.
So the other cool part about that is just how great our club is. Or now, I'm not saying our club is better than your club. Just in that scenario, like we solve problems very quickly. Like we just came up with a plan. And everybody was in on the plan, and we're just like, this is what we're doing.
Yeah.
And then another example, back in 2017, when my truck was on the artwork, and I took the 4Runner up there. Angie drove the 4Runner, and I took the Titan with the vendor trailer.
Yeah.
And that one, it had a pinhole in the air tank.
Yep.
And so, but it was just like, okay, cool. All we got to do is we got to take this, put it in this trailer. He'll take that. You'll take this, and then boom.
Yeah.
So it's really fills you with like a lot of pride that, we're just like, don't even worry about it because we will solve this issue.
Yeah. We will figure it out.
Yeah. And we did. And here I am.
And
So
here-
that's sort of the after getting here.
That was the Sunday day.
That was
because
Sunday day.
nothing happened to me. I left the show at like 9 and I was home at 1.
And so we're, you know what, we were trying to like start at the beginning and go to the end. We're just gonna bounce all over the place.
No, we were starting at the end and go to the beginning, and then you
Whatever.
went back to the beginning, and then
Whatever. My brain is frazzled right now. So,
shout out to Blistex.
dude. The wind all weekend.
The wind.
Well,
Oh,
not all
Sunday
weekend,
or
Saturday.
Saturday was all day, and like
Yeah.
they didn't have any of this. This is like a medicated lip
Yeah.
balm, and this saves the day. I can't use the other stuff; it just messes me up.
Yeah.
But and
It was-
the gas station I stopped at on the way home didn't have this, but I knew I had
really?
it. I had it here at home, and I was always thinking about all the way
just
home.
driving, like I gotta get
This
to that.
Blistex, just repair these lips. Repair these lips. So if you're watching this, I'm putting a lot of Blistex on my
I
lips.
know. I noticed that. I'm all.
No, it's gonna keep
He's
going.
really
too.
getting it. He's really getting it.
because it just soaks in, and I'm just like more.
Dude, my hands are so dry. So that was the other thing. So Saturday. Okay. Let's talk about this. Well, hold on. Before we talk about that, I just wanted to bring up because you were saying that your trip home, you brought your Maverick.
Yeah, and that
You
just
brought your
goes back
Maverick?
to the beginning of this video
Yes.
because I
Beginning of the weekend.
yeah, because that Maverick, you know, I uploaded a video about me weighing everything that went into the trailer because I didn't, you know, that it's only rated for 2,000 pounds towing.
Mm-hmm.
The trailer weighs 900 pounds, I think, or 800. I forgot, but I wanted to be very calculated in what I put in there and not just overload it. Plus, it's new; it barely has any miles.
You don't
on
want to. Yeah, you don't want to break a brand new truck.
I don't even think I'm supposed to tow with that less of miles on it. I don't know, but I did it.
It's funny I brought that up because we were just kind of talking about, like, right after you left, me, Eric, and we were talking, and I'm like, oh man, you know, yeah, he's just got to be careful with it, doesn't want to mess it up. And then Eric was all, this is the perfect time to mess it up. It's under warranty.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Until they go like look in the logs and they're like, why did it need so much torque to take off at this particular spot? Like, what were you doing?
4 of my big friends were in it.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. It did good. It got basically I reset every gas mileage per everything when I filled up the tank on here. Drove up there and it's all hills, you know what I mean? Basically up and down hills from Phoenix to Laughlin. And then detached the trailer and then drove around Laughlin to Bullhead City back and forth from registration to roll-in, and it was basically my golf cart all weekend, you know.
I thought about that because you were sneaking up on people.
Yeah, because it's
with your hybrid just creeping up. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's funny, and then I got back and I got 22 miles per gallon.
That's awesome.
So I'm pretty stoked on that.
Yeah, that's really cool.
That's a good number, especially when you're. And it's funny because I was looking at the miles till empty, and it was like 180 miles till empty, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. I only put 11 gallons of gas in this thing when I got gas in Bullhead City. So it's not like putting 22 gallons. Everything's like halves with it. So
yeah, it's crazy.
So I'm
you
just
want to know
thinking,
what my truck got pulling all that stuff?
Yeah.
9.5. And I was cruising. I wasn't like being me.
Yeah.
You know how I am pulling. I was like, I made sure I was going like 60, 65, like really conscious, watching the temperature on the transmission, just really being conscious, and still got 9.5 miles of the gallon.
9.5 is about the go-to with when my Titan pulls the enclosed with the car in it, and that's about the same weight because our enclosed doesn't weigh. It weighs 2,800 pounds. So you throw a car in there, you know, you're 8,000 pounds. And I remember about 9.5 is what I was getting. So I'm thinking if we go to mini nats, if everything's halves, we're gonna save half gas.
I'm down for that.
I'm down for that too.
Yeah,
I'm down for that too. So I'm excited for that. And but otherwise, the show went really well.
It was so awesome. It was so great. I just don't even know like where to begin on talking about it because everything was so great. I guess we'll talk about it was still at the River Lodge.
Yep.
And we've been talking a lot about how it was going to be on the parking structure. It was great. That was a really solid move.
It was funny because everyone I talked to was like, we had no idea what to think about this. And I was like, yeah, we didn't either.
Yeah.
You know?
No, just throwing stuff at the wall, see what's going to work.
Yeah. And the lighting up there was amazing. And you know, we throw photos over this podcast, but I'm not gonna have time to do that tonight.
Yeah, no. So you got to use your imagination.
Well,
or
I'm gonna
wait 6 months for the videos to come out.
Next week during the week, I'm gonna put them on the Drop Instagram.
Okay, cool. Oh,
you know what I mean? Like this is where the Forbidden Show, and then even when we talk, there's a couple things here on my desk that I want to talk about.
Oh,
yeah. Don't worry, I got you.
I know. Sorry, man.
No, I want to touch on it, and we'll touch on it again later.
Yeah.
I'm not going to overlay photos, but we can upload our photos of that to the Drop Instagram next week. So,
dude, I actually, I have it. It's not in the trailer. It's actually in the truck, but I just didn't bring it here with me. But.
No, it's all good. It's
okay.
Well, you'll send just photos of it. No one knows what we're talking about right now on the audio.
No one knows. Yeah, no.
That's okay. You'll figure it out when you watch our Instagram next week.
This is a very interesting episode.
This is gonna be fun
because this is something.
We're in new territory. But I want to say something about the show and our vendor booth. The way we set the booths up was my booth, and then and it was so windy. You know, we attached. I was like anchoring the booths to everything, and then Lindsay was next to me with Pretty Low, so she was attached. But then there was a gap, and then you were like kind of separated from us.
Yeah, I know. I felt divorced.
Yeah, it was. So We almost have the show. We usually have recollection or the experience of a show in the similar way. Mm-hmm. But this time, me being the person that was heading up the show, not really my booth. Kim and her family were running the booth, like they do.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to Kim. So I really wasn't in the booth this time, experiencing that part. I was doing the show. And then you were separate. So we have two different experiences of the event this time instead of one similar one.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. It was great. Like I said, the location, like being on top of the parking structure was great. Like you said it, the lighting. I think two things really helped it out, because I've been thinking a lot about it on the way down. I think one is it being on top of the parking structure and more kind of condensed helped it out. It felt you felt more integrated. You felt more a part of the show. The other parking lot's great, but it's so vast. And, like some clubs go over there and some clubs go. So you kind of feel, and it feels a little daunting to even walk it and film it, So it being so condensed into that area and the other parking lot, you really felt integrated into the show, Yeah, that's one way I felt. And then, like I said, the lights were great at night. You didn't get that again. That other parking lot's kind of dark. There are lights out there, but it's kind of dark. So it just felt like this. It was like just going all the time.
Yeah,
it just kept going.
Yeah, and the part that I love, and I experienced this at the reunion show out here, is the reunion's on all the levels of the parking garage. But when you get in the elevator and then you go up a floor and you open it, you're still in the same position, but your view is totally different.
Oh yeah.
So my favorite part was getting in the elevator. And you're in this parking structure, and then the door shuts, and then the next time the door opens, it's like this Disneyland of vehicles.
Yeah, that's
and music and all this stuff. It was like you shut the door and you traveled to a different dimension. And it opens, and it's music and people and all that stuff. And the other part was every time the elevator opened, a new group of people would cheer that they made it up to the top.
I saw that. So,
and the reason they cheered is because the elevator was.
Dude,
it was a little sketch.
Well, you got to think about it. Those elevators are not designed to go up and down, up and all day for like 15 hours up and down. They're meant to go like a couple people up, go to the parking lot, a couple people down. These, dude, and I think one just stop working?
Yeah, and that one usually doesn't work ever. And when I saw both of them working, I think it was Friday, they were both, I was like surprised they were both working, but then the one stopped. I also got to apologize for the one bad hiccup that we did have for the show.
Yeah.
I have an excuse for it. But, okay. So I rented porta potties for Friday. They were supposed to be delivered Friday. They never got delivered, and I called this place multiple times. Never got anywhere. Saturday morning, I found a company through the Laughlin River Lodge. The maintenance guy there, Dylan. Shout out to Dylan. He sent me a phone number. Called them. They were there in 45 minutes. Charged me a third of the price that this other place was, but they only had the one.
Yeah.
So I was like, "Hey, one's better than none." So we only had one porta potty. There was a little line. I'm sorry. Next year we will have more.
That it's funny because that actually played a factor in a couple things. So it was like if you want to go to the bathroom, it was either wait in line at the porta potty or walk back into the casino. I was beat, dude. By the time I was like going back, like it was like I wanted to, have fun and get going, but I was like I had to fight it. I'm like I'm so tired from all this walking today.
Yeah,
but it's fine. It's okay.
Yeah,
no,
I know people were getting a little creative because there was no porta potty on Friday night, and everyone was hanging out Friday night up there drinking.
Yeah,
and I know people were getting a little creative on where they were going to the bathroom.
Yeah,
but all I kept thinking about was this is going to get real creative on Saturday if there's no porta potties.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like you said, luckily you came up with the one, so that worked out. Yeah, that was one thing. The other thing that I've been thinking a lot about, which I really liked, is obviously the quality of trucks and cars there were phenomenal.
Yeah.
I actually, as we were coming back, Angie was just looking through Facebook, the comments and stuff. And Shane from Unforgiven, who is also throwing Havasu Meltdown, he made a comment. He's like, I think it was the only like primer truck there. And I was like, thinking about like, you know what? I think he's right. I think maybe there were only a handful of like, primer trucks. All the rest of the trucks there, cars, vehicles, were phenomenal. We had the Stranger there.
Yep.
That was amazing. the pink Mitsu that kind of went through a few people, and the guy who owns it now had Danny from our club and Doghouse paint it with graphics, and that just looked amazing. And it was just like every time you turned around, there was just something cool to look at.
The severed lineup always.
They killed it.
Yeah, they
killed it.
The so many cool, that blue 84 to 88 that came down. Just Steve's.
Oh,
white,
Chad.
Yeah, Steve's white Toyota, the yellow Mazda. It was it's so cool.
Yeah, it was awesome. It was great. Everybody super high quality. One that really stuck out my mind was Abe from No Regrets.
Yep.
Gabe. I'm sorry. Gabe. I always call him Abe. I always call him.
You got it. 3/4, right?
Gabe from No Regrets. He had the black full size Chevy truck. And then I forget, he's got really big wheels. I don't know exact size, but what was really cool is he had the spinner centers with little NR logos on it. That was killer. Man, I could go on for a while. Oh, one thing that I was really stoked on was the amount of trucks there that were on cool old chrome wheels. Yeah. That was so killer. Every time I turned around, I'm like, oh, KMC units. Oh, Nemesises. Oh, those Anteras. Like, it was crazy. That was one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, it was cool. There's all kinds of stuff there. There was a couple guys that messaged me earlier today, and they had a couple of full sizes next to Graham's Armada.
Oh,
like they had patterns on them and stuff like that. Really big wheels. And they asked me, they're like, hey, how do we, great show, thank you, but how do we, should we do to try to get a trophy or whatever? And I was like, look, man, your trucks are awesome. I was like, I'm really actually surprised neither of them got a trophy. I was like, but we're a mini truck club, and so we tend to kind of, our eyeballs go to the mini trucks. And then he sends me a photo. He's like, oh, we're coming back next year, and we're actually building one. And he sends me a picture of a standard cab, like 97-ish Tacoma, with a full custom chassis they're putting on with a dump bed. And,
oh, cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, yeah, that's amazing. Like this body drop mini truck from these guys that build these like huge wheel full size trucks. And I was like,
right,
yeah, this is rad.
It's cool. Don't mean to toot our own horn, but I've heard that a lot over the years that like people really like the show really pushes people to put out their best, and we see it. Like we definitely see it.
Well, there was definitely like a thing where in 2016 when we had the first show at the Avi, that was right around when Mini Truckin' Magazine shut down.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And so a lot of mini truckers, they were like, well, what? I'm building my truck because I want to get it in the magazine, or
right, like what do you aspire to now?
And then so when we started just having the only painted vehicles on the grass, it kind of took over that. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people were like, I just want to paint my truck to get it on the grass at Forbidden. Well, now we don't have that, but it's still now with the show, we're only limited to, we have to limit it to so many vehicles. So, these clubs bring out, they want to bring out, 30 rides, 40 rides, whatever, all their rides, but it's just like, I almost want to tell all the clubs, like, look, just bring out your best percentage of the rides, because we need to leave space for everyone else too. So, but yeah, everyone's just like, I'm building it for this, or I'm doing this or whatever. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. No, yeah, definitely cool. Yeah, the quality of rides was absolutely amazing, and it just gets you so excited. I was excited. I like it when I go to a show and I just kind of get, it sounds weird, but I get this kind of like giddy feeling, just like, everything's going on, all these bad trucks are rolling in, and like you see all your friends, and like you can't walk like 10 feet with all like, hey man, what's going on, how you been? It's like it gets you so amped.
And that's by design with that show. It's by design. We want our friends there, and that we've grown up with over the last 20 or so years. And there might be all of our best friends or super close friends, but we're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat, and so that's what I like about it. And then, what else was I going to say? Oh, I was super, super, super happy with the raffle.
That's the thing I was going to bring up. Yeah, that was awesome.
I have been wanting to like revive our raffle. I go to like Cruise to the Pines, and their raffle is amazing. And then I remember the Sittin' Pretty show up in Washington. His raffle, when Sean was doing it, was just out of control. And I'm like, okay, what can I do I wanted this to be a big part of the show, and just to give back to people good stuff. So I think that was good. and I want to reinvest all that money that came in with the raffle, which was a lot of money. I just want to reinvest it into next year. So instead of 10 dual packs, we want to do like 15 dual packs, and instead of just you know what I mean, just more tools and maybe a toolbox, like just anything, just all kinds of cool stuff.
Yeah, then we'll get into bigger and better things, maybe some wheels. No.
you know what's funny is I was thinking about that and I said that, and then I was like, you know what? Wheels actually aren't a great prize
because they're very specific to like
lug pattern and style.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I think if we had a set of $1,500 wheels, I would rather take that $1,500 and buy other things.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. I think it's just like that. I don't know. Throughout the years, that was like, it's always wheels and like body drops that like are the like it's almost, you know how we always talk about buzzwords and stuff like that. Like that's one of them is like, man, they're giving away a set of wheels or they're giving away a body drop. Like, you know, like, so I think that's why we get that kind of stuck in our head, but we don't. We don't really think of everything that goes into it.
Well, you think it's because it's a big prize that's worth a lot of money and it's like a big thing, right?
Yeah.
But then I'm like, no, actually, if you take that big thing and break it up into multiple really good things, then you're just more people that leave happier instead of just one person. So yeah, I'd rather, especially when it comes to like a set of billet wheels, it's like $3,000 or $4,000. You could take $3,000 or $4,000 and buy, you know, depending on the prices, you get a bunch of dual packs.
Yeah, or some sort of air management kits or something.
I just and all that audio stuff, because audio stuff is like, I think one of the best raffle prizes, and I gotta
because it's so universal. Like
exactly,
you could do anything with it. Yeah,
you don't have to put it in your show car. You could put it in your daily, or you could put it and you could just keep it on the shelf for however long till you get something else, or it doesn't matter what it is. So I gotta thank Chris from Alan Ed's in Escondido, who also had his Scion out there that he got rewrapped like at the last minute, and that was pretty cool. It's funny, we were talking about Scions in the last episode, and like a couple cool Scions show up.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I was super stoked on that, and I'm already ready to get ramped up into it for next year.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, and it's really great to hear, because like you said, you are sort of like, you are the person who puts it together. So as long as you're amped to do it, the show is going to be good. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
The second you start being like, oh, I got to do this, it's like, then it's going to reflect into the show.
Yeah.
But, and that goes, and I say that not just for you, but for everybody involved.
Everybody. Yeah.
As long as everybody's amped to do it, it's going to be a good time. And I think, you know, everybody, like not only me or people in the club, but other people I talk to all weekend, they're like, the vibe is good. This vibe, it's a good vibe. It's a fun weekend. So I think that like reverberates. If it starts with everybody who's participating and running the show is happy, then that you know, trickles out to everybody else, and everybody's having a good time.
Yeah, because I mean, 2015 was our last year at Paris, and that was like, we were on a very downhill slope as far as some people in the club that had been throwing the show for a long time. They were just tired of it wasn't fun anymore.
Right.
And then it wasn't fun to me, and then Laughlin revitalized it. Yeah. And then when we went to the parking lot down, the below parking lot, last year, and then for Auto Mixer, it was kind of like, we're just trickling along. We're just hanging on. You know, it's still cool, but it was about ready to lose its momentum. And then this revitalized it for me, and I think everybody else, and then people in the club, and then, you know, Danny and Patty and Eric and Jose and Jesse and everybody that helps out with the show. It's like everyone was working, but also had a really good time.
Yeah. And so you were talking about like our two different perspectives. So you running the show, making everything as smooth. So my perspective sitting in the booth was amazing as well. I want to say thank you to everybody who came by and purchased stuff and said what's up. That was so awesome, seeing so many people. And that was like, it was almost me being in the mix with, and that's how I kind of got that understanding that everybody was digging the vibe, because people would come in, they were super happy, they were just want to talk, and you know, that was great. The other great thing was how many people were holding me accountable at the show. On Friday, I had dozens of people say, hey, take it easy, don't do it. So I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. And then didn't you like kind of at first, you're like, what are you talking about? Like when a few people said like, it's only Friday, Frank.
I'm like, and then I was like, oh, and then I'm like, oh, wait. Oh, okay. I get it. So that was really cool. which kind of like can segue us into what you have there, our little trinkets and stuff. Because the point that I'm getting at, the amount of support and positive vibes that we got for this podcast this weekend was unreal. Yeah. It was so cool. So many people were just so into it, and just like it was just. I'm really thankful for that. That was really cool.
Yeah, we have a really good friend named Donald LeBlanc who listens to this podcast, and he's just a great guy. Like, just to give it some back history on it, me and Donald, we are usually, when it was 3-day truck runs like Summer Madness or whatever, we were always like the last ones up, just sitting in the chairs, just talking. You know what I mean? Just didn't matter which truck run it was. Tell that dog to be
I know.
quiet.
Hold on one second.
No, it's all right.
No, I got to hold on.
All right.
Kill that thought. Sorry about that.
Dog wanted in or what?
They're just outside, just barking into the abyss. But I was like, every time she'd bark, I just watched Love go, bing, bing. I'm like, well, this is going to get annoying. Sorry about that, everybody. It's a little wild card Sunday here.
It is a little wild. Drop. Yeah, this is. We don't even know if the audio is going to line up on this. We're gonna hopefully this plays into our favor.
Yes.
Or however you put it. Anyways, so Donald LeBlanc, truckrun.net. He also, if you want to see photos of the show, he went around and took photos. They'll be up on his website, truckrun.net soon.
Which is, and without going into great detail about it, truckrun.net is, I think, one of the cornerstones of all this. It's been around forever. Just want to give a little shout out on that.
Yeah. Like I said, me and Donald have had good times. And he reminded me when we were talking about Rezo that I didn't bring up the story about when Donald LeBlanc drank a little bit too much. And I drank a little bit too much. And we went inside. I forgot whose RV it was. I think it was the guy from Senseless Behavior. And we broke into his RV basically. And he had there was no one in there. And we looked in the fridge and there was like a cake, like a claim jumper. Like this big cake, and we sat down in the RV and we ate it.
You stole their cake?
We put the forks where the cake was supposed to be and put it back into the refrigerator.
That's pretty funny, dude.
Oh man! And then I think later on, Greg that used to be in our club zip tied the motorhome door shut with a big zip tie. So that was but yeah, he has a YouTube channel called Fun with Woodworking.
Fun with Woodworking, yeah.
Yeah, and he comes up and he gives us these little. I'll put it on the camera here. But it's this little.
First he came up to us and he said, "Hey," he's all, "Here, check this out." So he hands me, because he makes these like, and you'll show him off. He makes these like little metallic cards with different things on them, and he gives it to me, and it has the Drop logo. I'm like, dude, that's sick. I haven't seen anything else. I've only seen this card. I look, I'm like, dude, that is so sick. Thank you. And he's all, turn it over. I turn it over, and it says, Dwight sent me.
Oh yeah, yours says Dwight sent me.
Yeah,
which is this. Mm-hmm. This is, I like this because I can just put the cards up to the camera.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, and that has the Drop logo on there. And then he has so he said when he's driving to work, he just gets quotes that we say, and then he puts them in his notes. So one time I was talking about a comment that I had on one of my YouTube videos about some guy said, "Man, this guy won't be around very long. He looks like he just eats gas station hot dogs all day." So Donald put on the back of this card, "You look like you eat gas station hot dogs." And it's amazing. And the best one.
That's the best one. Go ahead.
Apparently I said this on the podcast, but I don't have to say this because everybody that's known me for a long time knows how my opinions are. I love them. And so he put, "My favorite thing is my opinion."
Yep.
And it was funny how everyone that resonated with everyone, including my mom and
I know everybody you showed it to, they're just like, "Oh, yeah,
oh yeah,
that's it."
Yeah. And then all these keychains that he made.
Yep.
Which I think we're gonna have them at Mini Nats. We bought.
I
told him to.
Yeah, I still have them, so we'll have those.
Okay, cool.
They're cool, like laser engraved keychains on leather.
What's cool about them too is like the plastic ones are always very hard, but these ones seem like they're just really nice. I think they're cool.
And they don't have to go on your keys. You can put them on your backpack. You can put them on your Whatever you want to put them on.
And then did you see that?
I saw that one. I don't get that one because that's like you and Donald's thing. Like
Inside joke thing.
So I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, it's so funny, but it's a little guy, and then it says, I hate you this much. And I don't know if the camera can pick that up or not, but yeah, it was amazing. Like, so if you like woodworking videos and stuff, go check his channel out.
Well, you're forgetting one really cool thing. And which is funny because I don't have mine. So is the notebook.
Oh, and I don't have mine either.
Oh, you don't have it with? Oh.
I gotta find it.
Oh, see. Anyway, he made us these really cool notebooks with the drop, the D cut out of them. So, man, thanks to Donald, dude. Donald's the man.
He's just he's just fun. When I see Donald, it makes me get in a better mood.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When I see him there, I'm just like, all right.
Yeah, we hung out until like super late last night.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we were all hanging out inside when it was too cold. Like we all wanted to hang out outside. So the show is over, booths are broken down, everybody's just chilling, and we'll usually hang outside, but it was a little chilly this weekend, and so we're like, no, we got to go. So everybody went inside. So.
Yeah, I know. I think I ended up going. I went inside real quick, and then Patty called me. She's like, hey, we're taking everything down. We're gonna go. This is probably like what, 9?
Yeah, it was kind of early.
9:30, and I was like, all right. So we loaded everything up, closed it down. We went down, and I ran into Roulette and Jap and a few other people. So, talked to them for 20 minutes. And then I go over here and I saw Fester and Tom Jenkins. So I sat down. And the funny thing is, last year at the show, I walked in, it was at like 3 a.m. And I walked to the little general store and I got a piece of pizza or something. And Tom Jenkins sitting right there. And me and him sat there and talked for 30 minutes. And he was now the last person I talked to going into my room this time.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, very strange. But
that's another really cool part about the show. Is just like, you said earlier how it's like, it's just us hanging out with all of our friends. And you can't walk 30 feet without stopping and getting into a conversation with somebody. And saying, I said that earlier, like, hey, what's up? How's it going? And even throughout the whole weekend, like, hey, how are you doing, man? You having a good time? Yeah, man, I'm having a great time. How you doing? All weekend.
Yeah. Yep. And I think that, did we discuss this? We didn't really just hit on this too much, but just in the past, but just about time. Like, we don't have a lot of time to, like, go hang out at people's houses like we used to. We don't have weekly meetings. We don't just do the things we used to do. So, and especially as a club and just as people in general, the older you get, the less you kind of just hang out. You start in your 20s by, like, I'm hanging out every weekend with my friends, and I'm never, ever stopping doing this.
Yeah.
And then you slowly start to stop.
Yeah. And then you get to the other end, but it's, it's really great. I think those scenarios are cool, because it makes those interactions way more meaningful. Like when you don't.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was getting at. Yeah. It's like, that's what this show is. Not only for everyone that in attendance, but for our own club.
Oh, for sure.
Because I don't think I've seen Big Steve since the last show. And it's just like, it just restarts. Like it's almost like we went to bed at the show last year. And then next morning we woke up and had the show again. And that year didn't. Yeah.
And you just pick right up.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was great.
So, It was
really
a lot of
cool.
fun.
But big thank you to everybody who rolled out. It's really cool.
Yeah. And all the people that, like, again, I'm getting messages from people that sometimes don't usually go to the show, like the guy that won best full-size truck. I feel bad. I had to go over there and tell him to turn his radio down.
Oh,
because it was so loud. It was just drowning out everything, and people next to him, and I'm just like, I felt like, oh man, I'm like, hey man, can you turn it down just a little bit? And he's like, yeah. It was the guy with his kids were riding around on the Power Wheels.
Oh yeah. Oh dude, that was so cool. Yeah.
So, and he's from like Las Vegas. It's a Las Vegas like street truck style club.
Yeah.
But his truck was legit, and it ended up winning best full size truck. But he dipped early, so I don't know if he didn't think he was going to win an award or not. But I got a hold of him on Instagram, and he lives in Vegas, and I gave Shane from Characters, who lives in Vegas now, his award, so they're going to meet up and get it and stuff. But he was like, cool. Oh, that's rad, man. Like I like when people that aren't in our scene come and like see it, and like they're like, man, I like this too. Because a lot of times shows, especially on that side of the spectrum with the street truck stuff, they're just crazy.
Yeah.
Where our show is just like, oh, you can just chill.
Yeah, we're just
and have
chilling,
a good time.
Man.
Yeah.
We don't need to do a bunch of burnouts and run people over.
Yeah, you can go do that down the street.
Yeah.
But
that's a whole nother thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, man. It was It's just all good. Oh, I'm gonna give another shout out. Is that
Yeah,
cool?
yeah, dude, you can do. It's Sunday night, and we're just doing whatever.
Yeah. You see that one?
Oh yeah, Mad Rat. Yeah. That's a homie.
So he sent me a ton of stickers.
Cool.
So this is Mad Rabbit's Ideas. Mad Rabbit Ideas. Oh, and you know what? I still never got drop stickers from you.
Oh, that's right. I was supposed to. Yeah, that's right. They're still in the truck.
Yeah. So I owe Mad Rabbit some drop stickers.
Yeah, he's. I've known Mad Rabbit a really long time. Not known him, but we've talked, through Instagram and stuff for a real long time. Yeah, I don't know if you remember, but he sent me a cup.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah.
So it was really cool. This was last year, the year before sometime, and he was just a fan of the channel. And I get this package one day, and I'm like, "What is it? What is this thing?" Damien, that's his name. Damien, Mad Rabbit. And I was like, what is this? And I decided, I don't know why, I'm going to film opening this just to see what it is. So I open it, and it was one of these style cups, like a tumbler cup, and he does like dremeling, like he does etching and stuff. So he like dremeled this whole cup, and then not only did he do that, but he built this wooden box around it, and then like graffitied the box, and then did a piece of plexiglass in the front with the Custom Life logo and the Forerunner on it. And actually, now I remember this. So on the cup, he did like a little caricature of me.
Yeah.
And he's like wearing sunglasses, and it's my face, and he dremeled that onto it, and I was like, oh, that's so cool. And I say, hey, do you mind if I turn this into a sticker? And so for those who like stop by the booth and seen the stickers and stuff, my face that is like looks like a Simpsons character.
He did that.
He made that. Yeah, he drew that, and now it's a sticker. So yeah, that guy's super cool.
He was talking about doing something for one of our giveaways or something, but so I think I'm gonna let's commission him to do something where we can go along with one of our giveaways. I think that would be rad.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
I like his style. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
I think he's a writer. He's a graffiti writer. He knows, he's like legit. He's a legit dude.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah, so that's awesome. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Heck yeah, and go give him a follow. Mad Rabbit Ideas.
Mad Rabbit Ideas on Instagram.
I love it.
Yeah.
So what else happened? Anything else happened this weekend?
Oh man, I don't know. It's so funny because
we're gonna think of a million things after we get.
I know, and which is funny because because when we were talking about in last week's episode that we're like, oh, we got to record one before the show, and then we're like, hey, let's just do this thing where right after the show, what we're doing now, sit down and talk about it. That's way it's fresh in our mind. But now that I'm sitting here thinking, there's like so much stuff that went on that I can't really like break it down in my brain, like decompress. I haven't decompressed yet. Like I'm still like up from the whole thing.
You're more you than me because I took a nap already.
That's right. You've been home for a minute.
I've been. It's funny because I got off of the freeway. I texted Chelsea and I was like, she's like, you want me to bring food home? I was like, yeah, I want a celebratory pizza. Mm-hmm. So thin crust, you know what I mean? Like just a really good pizza. So she got off work around the same time and she stopped at the pizza spot, the Oregano's Pizza on the corner. She was exiting the pizza place as I was exiting the freeway, and we just drove up the road together.
Like magic.
Like magic.
Me, on the other hand, and I'm not complaining because I'm glad it worked out and it did. But me and Angie didn't get our celebratory breakfast down in the Lodge Cafe.
Oh man,
I know. I was like,
I was talking about that. When we were at the Avi, you had the Mexican joint there at the gas station.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
And my favorite thing to do on Monday, because I would stay till Monday when it was there, was walk over, get a breakfast burrito, get in my truck, and drive away. It was usually just me by myself, and that's just like. And
that was sort of like the end to the weekend.
Yeah, and I haven't done that. Obviously, we haven't been at the Avi, and I attempted to do that last year, and I got so frustrated trying to find a joint to get a breakfast burrito that I ended up just going to Taco Bell.
I don't think you're gonna find a pretty legit breakfast burrito in Bullhead.
No, Bullhead actually has legit Mexican restaurants.
Oh really? Oh yeah. I don't know much
Yeah.
about the town, so
Yeah,
sorry, my Bullhead friends.
You wouldn't think so by observing.
Yeah,
but there is some really good Mexican restaurants there.
Okay, I gotta look harder.
Yeah, so but I couldn't find one, and I probably if I would have looked at it. In fact, I saw one next to Smart and Final when we went shopping Thursday night when me, Danny, and Patty went over there and got supplies for the show. I was like, oh, there's a right here. But that was like my thing. But this time it was just like I cracked open a super ice cold Coke Zero from the ice chest that had been sitting there all night.
Nice.
Poured it over ice, and I just drove down the street, and I saw Glenn. He was about to load Joey's truck, and I honked, and he waved, and I waved back, and I was like, I'm going home.
Yeah. And that's sort of like what we do. Like, you know, we didn't get to do this time, but like, that's what we do. We get up, we're so like kind of like exhausted from the weekend, but we get up and then we go down there, and that's like, it's like, I don't know how to describe or explain it, but I'll describe it. You just go in and you see everybody's down there having breakfast. Like, hey man. Yeah. Hey, you did good. Oh, all right, cool. Oh, good man. And then, yeah, so that's fun for us.
Do you do that in the general store or down in the Mexican restaurant?
No, down in the cafe, the lodge.
Okay.
Yeah. They got some pretty legit breakfast down there.
Yeah,
I think they also stepped up their game this year, like even in the little general store, because usually we would get a breakfast burrito, which are okay, but this time we got these like croissant sandwiches with like bacon and egg on it, and it was pretty legit, and it was only like $4 or $5.
The lady that I deal with at the River Lodge said that they have never raised their prices there.
I could tell, like, it is.
It's cheap.
Yeah, and that's cool. That's awesome.
Yeah, and that's like I compare that place to, some people don't like they have the room, so they stay other places, which is totally cool because the lodge has not updated their rooms, most of their rooms in a long time. In fact, my mom's room had a tube TV.
Yeah,
so a lot of the rooms still have tube TVs, and it's very strange. But and then they ran out of a lot of food, and they did this, but it's just like the expectations versus prices versus everything is like right in line with what I like. Mm-hmm. It's not too fancy because you go too fancy, you're just spending a bunch of money. Mm-hmm. But you go to like a Motel 6-ish, then it's not.
It's too low.
It's too low. But
so you need
right in the middle.
That little sweet spot.
Yeah. For those anyone that's ever been to SEMA back in the day when all the mini truckers hung out at like the Golden Gate.
Oh yeah.
And then they went next door to the ABC store and got like. That's the vibe at this place because you could walk into that general store and buy alcohol in cans and then just walk around and drink it.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I didn't realize that, but yeah.
Yeah. And it's all cheap and the food's cheap and you got to wait a little bit long and sometimes they're out of cheese and sometimes they're out of this, but it's good.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I think the other cool thing was just the views being up on top of the parking garage. I didn't know how that was going to play out, but it definitely. Because behind Roulette, right there, and on that north side, it's just
how you see like the city.
You see all of Laughlin, and then the other side you see all the water. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And it's just I don't know.
To me, to be completely honest with you, and this was a good thing. The booth was so cracking. Yeah. I didn't even really look up much. It was like. Booth slanging, saying what's up, hanging out with people, chopping it up, doing all this stuff, and they're like, okay, cool, run out, film, come back. It's like I said, it's a cool thing to be cracking like that, and I really appreciate it. But man, the weekend goes like it is like we pull in and it's like go.
Yeah. So you had problems with your camera gimbal?
Oh yeah. Oh, left. That was that was kind of frustrating. So I'll try to wrap this up very quickly. So I start getting all my stuff ready, and it's one of those things like I just assume the gimbal is gonna work. Like you don't.
Yeah.
It's not like you're gonna like a week before like I should see if the gimbal's gonna work. No, you expect it to work.
It's like your car. You just expect to get in it and go.
Yeah. So so I get all my gear together and I go to plug in the gimbal, and it wasn't charging. So I'm like researching different things, and I thought I narrowed it down to the battery was bad. So I started looking at replacement batteries. And but what I think ended up happening is the contacts, because with that gimbal, the battery and the gimbal part are two separate pieces.
Yeah. And
so they slide together. And also, which I don't like about this, and I don't know if the newer gimbals charge differently, but this one it has to be assembled to charge. Like you can't just like charge the battery.
So the new ones are just have integrated batteries. You don't like. I just plug mine in. And the battery's in it. There's no taking it off.
Because there's no. It's not two pieces. It's just one piece.
It's just one piece.
Oh, okay. So, and that was like my first indication that there was something wrong, because I put it together, plugged it in, and it wasn't charging. So after some figuring out, and actually by chance, because I watched this one YouTube video that said, okay, if the battery doesn't work, you could probably do this. So what they said is take a piece of tape, put it over the contacts, because if you put the gimbal together and you plug it in, it won't turn on. But if you trick it and disconnect the battery, for some reason, it will turn on. Anyway, so I do all that. It didn't work. So I'm like, well, that didn't work. But I think what happened was when I put the tape over the contacts and slid the two pieces together, well, when I slid them on and slid them off, I think it cleaned the contacts. Because I think the contacts were corroded. Because after I did that, it started charging. And I realized that when you put the gimbal in the case, right on the edge, right where the case closes, that's where those like exposed contacts are.
Yeah.
And the last trip we did was, out to LST when it was really more like it was raining in Phoenix, and it's very humid there. And I think and my case is not airtight. So I think it just got some moisture up in there and corroded the contacts. So
should think about getting one of those cheaper Harbor Freight Pelican style cases.
Oh, that's good.
Because those are weather tight.
Yeah. It won't get any moisture in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it was definitely frustrating when it's the night before we leave, and I'm like,
yeah,
well, what do I do? I don't know what I'm gonna do.
And the funny part is I brought my cameras, and
yeah,
I brought but I never opened my camera case, which was kind of.
I was gonna ask you, you didn't film anything, not even on like your little camera, nothing.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I just love it. It's just like, oh, this is like my break from the video side of things, of not worrying about that. And with Kim and everything running the booth, it's like I don't have to worry about that. And it's just it's almost like a break. And it's really cool.
That's cool. But I need to pick up. Well, actually, and I'm sticking to my guns. Well, I'm probably gonna obviously film, so I guess that's not totally true. I'm sticking to my guns. I'm not gonna have a booth at Chubb's.
Sticking to your guns.
I'm sticking to my guns.
All right. Didn't we have a bet about this?
If we did, I don't remember, but we can make one.
I thought we had a wager, because my wager is are going to have a booth.
Well, Angie says we're going to have a booth, but I'm like, no,
I got pretty solid on my odds. I'm pretty, because I'm going to have a booth. And if you go out there and Angie sees me making money, and you are not going to have a good time. If she's looking at you and going, I told you we should have had a booth.
But no. Angie has just as much or more fun than I do. So.
Oh, I'm not saying that. But if the booth is set up and you're
what I'm
making money,
saying is if she has enough fun, she'll
she'll forget about that.
She'll forget about that.
She'll remember it Monday.
Yeah.
When I remind her how much, I'll be like, guess how much money I made.
Hey, I already set this. I already kind of set the pace, because I saw oh my gosh, why am I blanking? Izzy. I saw Izzy. Yeah, I saw Izzy. And I was like, hey, man, I just want to let you know I'm not going to have a booth. We're coming out. We're going to hang out. And he's like, I totally understand, man. He's all, we're just glad you guys are there. So I'm like, that's cool. And everybody's already getting ready for it. Like, everybody was like, it was hanging out at this show, having fun, but also like, you ready for November? Be ready. It's going to be awesome. So everybody's pretty stoked on it.
Yeah, we had a very light showing of members at our show,
because
but I'm 100% good with that, because a lot of them are just like, no, we're coming to the 30th, and 2 trips out to California from wherever, Texas or Canada or wherever. Shout out to Jeremy and Kim from coming down from Canada again. But it's hard to do that twice in a year for people
for sure, with
real jobs.
Yeah, no, I totally get that.
So I'm stoked for that, and we got I don't know, I got a lot of plans now for that too.
That's cool. That's what I'm saying.
Also excited for that, because I've got some things like driving home by myself. I'm just like, okay, I could do that. Oh, I could do that. I could do that, and it's gonna be cool.
And that's exactly what I'm saying. You're so stoked on it that it's. You know what I mean? Like you're excited to do the next one, and that's awesome, because it's going to only make it better and better and better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so hopefully we just keep on doing it. And I think we will, because it's just too much fun.
Well, there's no reason not to. Even if the Avi, we don't ever go back to the Avi, I heard less about going back to the Avi this year than last year, because I think people were like, oh no, this is cool too.
Yeah.
And we haven't been to the Avi since 2019, so it's kind of fading out in people's minds. But if we don't go back to the Avi, we're either going to stay at the lodge, or there's another possible location that's got the same vibe as this location that we might go to. But even if it stays at the lodge,
because like you can look at aerial views, you could go there and survey the parking lot, but until you actually fill that space, you're not gonna understand how to make it better or to maneuver things around. And I think you really got a good assessment on what to do to make it better.
Yeah. We found the home for sure for the we're there.
Yeah, if it's back there.
If it's back there, then we know what to expect.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm stoked with it. What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot.
It's all right. My brain is baked.
I didn't realize Mini Nats was so close.
I know. Dude, I know.
Is Angie flying out or no?
No, it's you and me.
It's just me and you.
Yep, that's it.
Me, you, and Hot Chicken.
And Hot Chicken and the Maverick.
And the Mavi.
I know, and it was funny because like I was like psyching myself up. Like I'm like, okay, I'm like hitting the ground running. Tomorrow, first thing, inventory. And I'm like, oh, what am I going to inventory?
Oh, yeah.
I don't have my trailer yet. So Tuesday morning,
hitting the ground running.
Hit the ground running.
We're going to inventory.
We're going to reprint.
I have to inventory. Did we sell a lot of the drop t-shirts?
I was just about to say that. Thank you to everybody who bought drop merch.
Yeah.
And everybody was stoked on that too, man. They're like, oh, God, sweet. Get a sweater, grab a shirt. Everyone was super stoked on it, which made me super stoked.
It makes me super stoked because with the drop brand, I have my thing with Grinder TV. You have thing with Custom Life. They're very similar, but very different. Mm-hmm. But with the drop, it just allows us to kind of do, like, we could be like, oh, we're going to print gold t-shirts or purple like we could just, because we're not relying on it to like,
it's got to like fit what we're doing.
Yeah, or pay for the trip or do this. It's just a thing where we can be like, let's try this tank top or let's try this. Like we could just do whatever because we're only making, 12 or 20. We could do whatever we want. It's not.
We should, this is a little behind the scenes, but hats. I think we should do some hats soon.
Okay.
Yeah, I think some hats would be cool because I had a couple people ask about hats and stuff.
Just with the D on it?
Just with the D?
Or
the full. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
We'll figure that out.
Yeah.
So we're March 26th here, and we leave for Mini Nats on the 19th.
Jeez. Now you're freaking me out.
Why do I have Mini Nats? Oh, that's tax day. Why is this? Wait, when are we leaving? We leave for Mini Nats on the 19th.
I don't know. I honestly don't know. That might. Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, we do. And then the next weekend is Shane's event.
Yeah. Right back at it.
And then the next weekend is Cruise of the Pines.
Yeah.
And then the next weekend is C10 Nationals, and the next weekend is, I think, Graham's event.
Yeah. It's all coming down fast.
I'm gonna be gone the next. This is too much work for me.
Yeah. You look a little baked too. No, just kidding. No, you look refreshed.
Like every week. I remember talking about this last year. I was like, dude, April and May are going to be crazy.
Yeah.
And now we're in April and May.
You know what's also coming up really soon?
Year anniversary of this podcast?
The 1 year anniversary of the drop.
Yeah.
We're here we are, man. We're still making them. Sitting here on a Sunday night at 9:30, still making these things.
Oh, man. It's so cool.
It's great. Yeah, it's great, dude. Everything's great. Yeah. Everything's amazing.
Everything is amazing.
I will see my tune the week before Mini Nats to see how stressed out I am for getting ready. So we'll see. Follow along.
What's going to get interesting is these podcasts, recording these. Mm-hmm. We're going to have to double up on some stuff.
Yeah, we're going
to we're going to need all you people to help us by thinking of questions for us.
There you go.
Our brains might be a little all over the place with things, and we might need your help moving things along.
Yeah, for sure.
And then maybe in June when things slow down a little bit, we'll try to get me out to you or you out to me, and we'll do some guest episodes.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Yeah. I think me out to you because there's more people out there I think we want to get a hold of.
Yeah,
for now.
Yeah, there is. I want to get Will Freeman back on once. Mm-hmm. I want to do Joe C10 Vato, Seth at Switch. I don't know who else.
We'll have a little waiting room at your house.
Yeah,
like the doctor's office. Like next,
and then
have a seat.
The extra bedroom's the green room.
Yeah. That'd be awesome.
No, but I want to come out there because I want to do Donald. I really want to get Donald on.
Mm-hmm.
And then
We gotta do
Joey.
do a Joey episode.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Carlos at some point in time.
Mm-hmm.
This year is going to be crazy.
It's gonna be fun, man. I'm ready. I'm ready
I'm
for
ready
it.
too. I'm ready to edit this episode.
Yeah. All right. Well, cool. Thanks for checking out this week's episode. It's a little crazy. Thanks
we're probably
for hanging
gonna
with us.
yeah. And we're probably gonna record another episode. It would have to be Monday or Tuesday because Wednesday I'm busy all day too.
Okay. Let's shoot for Tuesday.
Or next Sunday and do this all over again.
Well, I mean, I will be fine because I'll be the one who's just been chill and everything, and then you got to come in hot.
Well, no, because I get home Saturday night.
Oh, you're only gone for like a couple days?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Yeah, I leave Thursday morning, fly out. The event's Friday, half day Saturday. I'd hop on. The event is right next to the airport too, so I just go from the event straight to the airport, back home.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll work it out. We'll work the details.
Work it out.
All right, cool.
Yeah. All right, after pod time.
Big thanks to everybody who stopped by our booths at the show.
Yep.
Thank you for coming to the show. That was awesome. Go to our websites, buy merch, enter to win. Switch Manifold and
Switch Manifold. Shout out to Brandon St. Gaudens who was at the show.
Yeah,
the winner of the AccuWear and posted that. So
well, it wasn't awesome. Brandon. I thought you said Mike.
No,
Brandon.
No, who cares about Mike?
Shout out to Brandon.
No, shout out to Brandon and all those guys. So
yeah,
all
cool.
good.
Right on. We'll see you later. Bye.
Later.